We are also hearing from the teen's parents for the first time on what it's like to hear your child went from being missing to a possible murderer. In a statement, Cam McLeod's father called his son kind, considerate, and caring. But a much different story on the other side of the spectrum for Briar Schmigelski's father. He gave an interview on camera, and here's some of what he said.
Initially, it looked like they were victims as well, right? Initially. And it's really tough for me to see in the paper today photos of them alive and well in Saskatchewan. So I know they're not lost in the woods. That's incredibly hard to deal with.
I want to bring in CNN correspondent Paulo Sandoval. We played just a small bit of what he said. The other part that you're going to play for us gives us a little bit of an insight into his son.
Absolutely, Lynn, especially when you hear from Mr. Schmigelski there, you certainly hear another crucial voice to the conversation here as this manhunt continues in Canada. Yes, of course, there is tremendous heartbreak right now that the families and friends of the 3 murdered victims are experiencing, something that is unimaginable. But it's also interesting when you hear from Briar's father, and you get a sense from him, as you're about to hear, that it certainly has little to no hope that he'll get to see his son alive again.
A normal child doesn't travel across the country killing people. A child in some very serious pain does. Mounties are going to shoot first and ask questions later. Basically, he's going to be dead today or tomorrow. I know that. I would say, rest in peace, Briar. I love you. I'm so sorry all this had to happen. I'm so sorry that I couldn't rescue you.
Mr. Schmigelski there painting a picture, I think, for viewers right now about his son, and also how he doubts that his son will actually survive this manhunt that is still ongoing right now.
Survivors.
When Ebola latched onto Roger Wasakundi's family, denial came with it. My sister got it first, he says. We didn't want to believe it was Ebola. She stayed at home, and we buried her. Through the intimacy of family, the virus spread to his aunt, his mother, father, to him. It took days to persuade them to seek treatment at a center like this, where doctors told Roger that his father and aunt had died. So when they told me I had Ebola, he says, I thought I would die too. In medical terms, stopping the spread of Ebola should be simple. Identify patients quickly, isolate them, trace their contacts. But halting this outbreak has been anything but. The epicenter is anchored in a conflict zone, where authority often comes through violence, which breeds fear. This fear makes it difficult to stop the chain of transmission, says Sylvester Zongwe. What we needed was to break that fear. Zongwe, a health worker for French medical NGO Alima, says that in the city of Butembo, they wouldn't let outsiders in. When responders came to take the sick from their homes, he says, they didn't know who they were. They believed they would take them over there to die. That's what created resistance. Earlier this year, unknown assailants burnt down 2 treatment centers. All told, there have been more than 130 attacks on health outposts. Elima's solution: integrate an Ebola reception center in something people already knew, an existing clinic. So we're at a center where they receive patients who could have Ebola, but what's incredible about this, it's right inside a hospital. They negotiate with the community, they're hiring youth from the community, And this could be one of the answers. But it's still the only center of its kind. Many victims still die in their homes, refusing to seek treatment. And survivors return to a fearful community. Many people don't believe Ebola even exists, says Roger. If people can accept this crisis, then we can end it. David Mackenzie, CNN, Butembo, DRC.